All right, guys. Well, it is just about 12:01. I waited as long as I could. I love to have these calls start on time because I know everyone's time is valuable. We do these at noon. It seems to be the time that works best for most. I know not all, but I want to make sure we get you in and out in that half an hour time frame and get you trained up every single Monday at 12 o'clock. My name is Adam Peterson with DCI, a territory manager for South Chicago, Central Illinois. I have doors in the Texas and LA markets as well. And we have an awesome special guest speaker for you. We have Monet Hamner from Smartpay. She's really going to go over practices that can maximize that productivity you guys have walking your door, where you can sell the most to your customers and have them pay the least. It sounds crazy, but it works. And man, if this light bulb goes off in this call, it can help your store's profitability so much. So without further ado, I will pass it over to Monet. Monet, thank you so much for hopping on.
Thank you so much, Adam, for inviting me to the call. I really appreciate the opportunity. My name is Monet Hamner, for those of you who I have not met yet. I am one of the territory development managers with Smartpay, and I support the Midwest market, including Illinois. So I will be your point of contact if you have any questions around Smartpay, or if there's anyone on the call who's not yet enrolled with Smartpay. Hopefully after this call, I'll win you over and I can help you get signed up to offer the Smartpay product. But I am a trainer at heart, like my good friend Adam is as well. He does such a wonderful job training. So if you do have a question or concern, feel free to either submit it through the chat and we'll get that answer for you. Or if you're comfortable unmuting yourself, you can go ahead and unmute and ask your question. This is the opportunity to share any objections that you faced in the market when you have been trying to pitch Smartpay, or maybe if there's something that you're not comfortable with and you need it to be addressed, this is the time for you to make sure that you get that all out. So hopefully everyone can see my screen.
We've got you.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you, Julia. All right. So we're going to go ahead and kick it off with why Smartpay. Why did Adam want Smartpay on this call? Well, he said in the beginning, this is a great way to help you make more money. But this is what's in it for you. So Smartpay can definitely help you drive your sales. And we can do that by helping you push out those top rated devices, to push out those accessories, to push out those add-a-lines, and to even get those additional value added services out of those sales when they come into your store. Smartpay is a good way to actually help you expand your customers' budget. So with Smartpay, approvals range between $200 to $1,500, which makes it so much more likely for that customer to get everything it is that they want the same day that they come into your store, because they don't have to spend all of their money up front. We know we live in a buy now, pay later world. So everywhere we go, when we're going, whether it's Walmart, whether it's Best Buy, even if you're shopping online, once you get to that checkout, you usually see another type of payment besides card or cash, right? You see PayPal, we see Klarna, we see Afterpay. Well, I want everyone to look at Smartpay. It's just another type of payment. That's exactly what it is. So your customers should actually be more aware of it. And I know with Boost, you guys had Boost up. So customers are definitely aware of the payment plan option, and I'm sure if you continue to drive home Smartpay, you'll get more yeses than you do nos. Also, Smartpay is a good way for you to increase your box and accessory revenue. Can everyone agree that on average, your average transaction is probably $130, maybe on the higher end $200? Yes, you agree. I know you agree. But with Smartpay, guess what? It quadruples. You can get anywhere between $500 to $600 out of that sale with that customer, and they don't feel that $500 to $600 cost in their pocket immediately, which is wonderful, right? And then Smartpay definitely is a great way to increase your retention. I know the 3MR and 6MR is very, very important, and that's how we make sure we're profitable, but we have a service that our customers actually want, and they're not going and looking for another deal somewhere else. So with Smartpay, you're going to be more likely to reach your 3MR and your 6MR because the customer has something that they actually like, that they can afford, and they're going to be more sticky. So they're going to be less likely to go hunting and looking for another deal somewhere else. So what is Smartpay exactly? So glad you asked. Smartpay, it's a lease-to-own payment plan option that allows for your customers to get the phones, to get the accessories, even Xfinity can be put on Smartpay, and they just pay for it over time. So to qualify for Smartpay, the customer just has to be 18 years old, and we want to make sure that we're verifying the customer's ID to make sure that they are who they say they are. They do have to have a valid social security number or an ITIN, which is just the individual taxpayer identification number. So if you're pitching Smartpay and you're like, hey, do you have an ID? They say yes. And then you follow up with, may I have your social security number, for example? And they're like, I don't have a social. Just say, do you have ITIN or ITIN? And they're going to say yes. They'll know exactly what you mean if they have one. Also, we do need a valid phone number and an email address. Smartpay communicates with customers electronically, so we want to make sure that the numbers that they're providing you and the email address actually belongs to that customer, because we send our legal agreements to them and a lot of important information. So we want to make sure we're getting that to the right person. And also the customer has to have a bank account. We do not accept prepaid cards, government issue cards, or payroll cards for the payment with Smartpay. It actually has to be linked to a physical bank or a virtual bank. And if the customer does not have the proper card, they won't be able to close the sale. So these are all things that you want to make sure you're asking the customer anytime you're pitching Smartpay. Do you have an ID? Do you have a bank account? And then from there, you can go ahead and run the application and see if they get approved. So this is the 15-month offer broken out. Smartpay, like I said, we approve customers between $200 to $1,500. Smartpay is a good offer for every type of customer that comes into the store, whether it's a new activation, whether it's a port-in, an eligible or ineligible upgrade, whether it's a family coming in trying to get the whole house new devices. So don't limit Smartpay to just a certain set of customers. It's good for everyone that walks into your store that's ready to buy something. And whatever that first payment amount is, for example, if it's $50 in the store today to start the Smartpay account, it's going to be 14 more payments of $50. So the Smartpay monthly payment stays the exact same. So it does not go up. So that's another benefit of it being lease to own. As far as what can be put on Smartpay for eligible items, anything in your store that the customer can physically walk out with, so that's a device, that's the tablets, hotspot, speakers, accessories, can be put on Smartpay. It just has to cost $50 or more for them to get it. And if they, let's say, don't need a device, for example, but they just want to get accessories, they can. So you can put standalone accessories on the Smartpay account as well. One more important piece of information that I want to make sure we all walk away understanding is Smartpay does charge a fee, and I like to refer to it as a cost of doing business fee or service fee. So in order for us to make money, we got to charge a little bit more to the customer, but they still walk out spending a lot less than they would if they were to come out of pocket for everything. So this chart that you see here at the bottom is the amount of time that the customer has to pay. So we have 90 days, 120 days, 180 days, 360, and 450. So this is taking us all the way up to the 15th month. If the customer pays out in 90 days, for every $100, there's a fee that's included. So in 90 days, that's a $20 charge for every $100. In 120 days, it's a 22.67 charge in 120 days, all the way up to $85 per 100 if they were to make all 15 payments. But with Smartpay being leased to own, if the customer wants to pay out in 90 days, in 120, 180, they can. And you see that this is how much in the fee, that cost of doing business, they would end up paying. So the sooner the customer ends up paying, the less in the fee they pay. But if they stretch it off 15 months, at least they know exactly how much the cost is going to be. And when I'm visiting stores, you will hear me say this a lot. My pitch is not that Smartpay is the cheaper option. My pitch is that Smartpay is the affordable option, because it's a monthly payment that most customers can pay every single month. So they have a budget. They're like, I got a budget of $25. Can you make that work? And you say, absolutely. I got a payment plan option. And if we spend this amount of money, we can keep you at that $25 ballpark every single month. This is that offer. Does anyone have any questions, concerns, or comments? I don't know if you've ever seen.
I want to reiterate on this and hammer this point home. So you heard what they say, if customer can walk out the door for $25 a month, and they can with this financing. So yes, over the course of 15 months or whatever the case may be, you're going to pay more. But it's just like a rent to own or a rent a center, right? There's reasons why these stores are all over the country and make millions and millions of dollars because some people don't want to have the money to pay high fees up front. They're okay with spreading those payments out, paying that $25, $35 a month because it's less of a cost from every month. Yes, it's more over the course of the term, but guess what? That's what credit cards are, right? We all use credit cards. Credit cards are the same way. So this is kind of a no-brainer where you can maximize everything you're selling to your customer for a small amount of money as possible. It's just a matter of you guys grasping how to do this, how to process it. But man, it's an awesome option for our customers.
Thank you so much, Adam. Someone have a question? Oh, okay. Maybe that was mute check. All right. So now we're going to talk about how to pitch Smartpay. So Smartpay is not a difficult product to pitch to your customers. My job is to simplify it because I don't want you to feel like, oh, I start talking about Smartpay and I confuse myself when I'm pitching it to the customer. So the first thing that we're going to break down is the pricing model. I know if you understand the pricing of Smartpay, then that'll be easier for you to pitch, right? Because most customers, they want that OTD. They need that out the door cost. So this is going to be the pricing model. So the minimum device is just the minimum amount that the customer would spend. The device column here, the middle, that's the maximum amount. And then the payment, this third column, is how much they're going to actually pay up front and then every single month. So you all actually have something called tiered pricing. So what that means is if you have a device and accessories within a certain price range, no matter if it's $99, for example, or $149.99, the monthly payment for Smartpay is $13. So it's easier for you to get those bundles out so you can get the customer device, you can get them a phone case or screen protector, the speakers, whatever it is that they need. And you see just by adding $50 how it doesn't change the payment. So this is a great selling opportunity for you to pitch Smartpay and get the most out of that transaction, because I know we make some money off of those accessories, right? So we can get some extra commission sales with pitching Smartpay. So you will also, I'll make sure that Adam, you have this presentation, but for anyone else who would like it, we'll make this a PDF. So you'll actually have the pricing sheet that you can always refer back to and pull it up pretty quickly. So this will be available for everyone. But this is definitely a great tool to use. All right, so Smartpay, like I said, in my opinion, is really easy to offer. These are some of the key things that I want to highlight for everyone. So it's very easy to use Smartpay. It's not an overcomplicated process. If you have customers lined up in the store, if it's the 1st through the 3rd of the month, you can still offer Smartpay and get that customer in and out. So the application process takes less than 2 minutes. So I don't know if everyone on the call has actually ran a Smartpay application, but if you haven't, I am challenging you today, when you get off this call, run yourself. Smartpay does not check credit, so it's not going to impact you negatively if you get approved or if you don't get approved. But I want you to see how easy and quickly it is to run the application, because I'm not lying to you. It takes less than 2 minutes. You get an instant decision if the customer is approved or if they're not approved, and everything is done through the point of sale, so through Elevate or through Elevate Web. So you don't have to go to another place to run the Smartpay application. It's also easy to explain to the customer. So key points to hit on: no credit required. Usually when customers hear lease to own or they hear monthly payment plan, they're like, oh, my credit is probably going to get checked. Reassure them and tell them that their credit is not required. Smartpay does not perform a hard inquiry or a soft inquiry to determine if they're eligible. We actually just look at public record. So that's payment history, address history, and sometimes income history. And that's all we need to see if they're approved for this 15-month offer. Also, the customer can pick when the payment comes out of their account. So if they have a budget every month, or if they want the money to come out when their bill payment is due, they can actually pick that date. So it makes it a little bit easier for them to say yes. And then we know, based off of the previous slide, that the sooner they pay, the less in the overall fee that they pay. So there is a way for the customer to control exactly how much they're going to end up paying in the end. And then it just makes it so much easier to lease everything that you have in store. And someone unmuted. You have a, oh, never mind. I see you muted yourself. But we had a question. All right. So how do you drive your sales? Well, this is how. So when you have that customer who's coming in and they say, hey, I have a budget. I'm a TikToker. I am trying to increase my followers. I know TikTok is really big, but I need a good phone that has a quick processor, that has a lot of storage, and that has a bomb camera because I need my videos to be very clear. Well, you can, and they say, I also have a budget. So let's just say they have a budget of $100, for example, that they're trying to spend. Can someone really come in and get the best top rated device for $100? Maybe, maybe not, depending on the promotions that you have going on. But this is a good opportunity for you to position Smartpay and let them know, hey, Monet, we actually have several devices that are within your price range, but we also offer a monthly payment plan. And if you get approved, you can actually get this device within this range, and then show them I can get you this device with this phone case, with this screen protector, maybe even with this the selfie stick. I don't know if some stores still have the selfie sticks, especially if someone's telling you that they're like a TikToker. Whatever they are using their phone for, just go ahead, if you have it in store, add it to that bundle and say, hey, this is what your out the door cost would end up being if you go with the payment plan route and if you get approved, versus the total out the door cost of this amount. So that's a great way to position Smartpay. And then also, maybe you have a customer who came in and they just broke their phone. They just broke their phone. They got it probably like 3 months ago, and they did not get the handset protection. So they're not insured. They don't have it. So now they are, and they want to keep their number. They don't want to have to, get a new line or anything. But they have a budget. And since they broke their phone, they either want that same phone, or since they're getting a new one, they might say, hey, I need to upgrade. I just don't want to downgrade. That's another opportunity to pitch Smartpay and let them know that it's no credit required. And we're so sorry that you broke your phone, but you'll be eligible for an upgrade at this point if they're not eligible for that upgrade yet. And we have a lease to own partner that I highly recommend that we see if you qualify for, because if you get approved, you can get anywhere between $200 to $1,500. And based off of what you get approved for will determine your monthly payment. And you will have the pricing sheet, so you can tell them, if you get approved for this amount, we can get you this phone. If you get approved for this amount, we can get you this phone. So you will really be able to guide that sale and make sure that the customer walks out with everything it is that they want. So now we're going to talk about driving your sales. How do you actually see the fruit of your labor? How do you see Smartpay increasing your 3MR, your 6MR? How do you see it getting those platinum sales out? Well, you got to actually run the application, okay? If you don't run the application, you're not going to see approvals, and you're not going to have those increased selling opportunities. And I like to say, run 2 applications a day the Smartpay way. Hopefully that's not too much. So if you work an average of 15 to 20 days every month, that could get you about 2 applications that you submit every day that you work. So that's about 30 to 40 applications that you run. And let's just say 50% of them get approved. That gives you 15 to 20 added selling opportunities. And let's just say you only close 50% of them. So maybe 8 to 10 of those transactions actually, or customers actually take the offer. The average Smartpay transaction was $514. So you would generate $4,000 to $5,000 in Smartpay sales for your store every single month. But you just have to start with offering it. Your customer has to know that it's available. And the only way that they're going to know it's available is if you bring it up in the conversation, especially at the beginning of the conversation. You don't want to bring it up in the end because if they don't get approved, it may, create an environment where the customer is a little down, right? And I don't want you to have to, deal with that. So bring it up in the beginning, because if you bring it up in the beginning, they get approved, you know how the sale will go. If you bring it up in the beginning and they don't get approved, now you just figure out what their budget is and you stick within that budget. All right, so we're going to go through processing a Smartpay application in Elevate. I'm going to show you Elevate and Elevate Web. So when you are processing a Smartpay application in Elevate, you'll click on the Smartpay leasing icon, and it's going to open up our page here. And you'll have to enter your store ID, which is unique. So if you do not have your Smartpay store ID, please make sure that you reach out to me or to your store manager, to the owner, and we'll make sure that you get that. But once you log in, you'll submit all the customer's information here: first name, last name, email address, phone number, date of birth, and social security number, as well as your address. And then you'll see about 10 to 15 seconds if that customer gets approved or not. Once they get approved, it's actually going to take you to the order detail screen. So you are responsible for entering every item individually. So we don't want you to put bundles in for Smartpay because we need to see the itemized invoice. So if you're going to sell a device and a screen protector and a phone case, you need to enter 3 individual items with the amount listed so that Smartpay knows exactly how much is going on the transaction. And then from there, you'll pick the customer's payment plan. And then that's when you'll see how much is going to be due that day. And then from there, you'll be able to put in the customer's card information. And once you put in the customer's card information, it'll present you with the confirmation page. And this page you want to keep open because you'll need to copy this application number. This application number will be used for you to check out. And also you can print this for the customer. If you have an issue with the printer, it's okay. The customer will get this emailed immediately from Smartpay. So they'll also have this for their records. And then from here, you'll go to the phone activation in Elevate. I lied, I do have these screenshots, but I'm going to skip past this because I know everyone already knows how to do this on the call. One important thing to highlight, Smartpay transactions are tax exempt. And I know that the permissions at every store may be a little different. So you may need a manager override to make the transaction tax exempt, but please make sure that you do get the transaction tax exempt because Smartpay charges the tax to the monthly payment. And we don't want your invoices to be off at the end of the day. So you'll click on add an item and then you'll click on tax exemption. You'll select the devices that were put in Smartpay or the accessories, and you'll check it, you'll update the tax, and then you'll see in the invoice that the tax was removed. We'll go ahead and total out, and after you total out, you'll make a payment. When you make payment, you're going to see Smartpay as an option. You're going to type in the order total amount that was put on Smartpay, and then you'll click OK. After you click OK, this box will come up so you can actually paste that application number that you copied on the receipt page. You paste that in here, you'll click OK, and then whatever is left, whatever balance is due, the customer will pay that, and that's how you complete the sale in Elevate. As far as Elevate Web, Smartpay is still working on getting the full screenshot. So if there is something that is missing, please let me know. But also, Adam, just a heads up, I know that, this is being worked on. So if I'm missing something, I apologize, but we'll make sure once it's updated that we get the process sent out. But this is what Smartpay has as of right now for Elevate Web. So you'll see that as long as Smartpay is enabled as an accepted payment option in Elevate Web, you'll see the Smartpay lease to own option there. You'll click that. It'll open up our Smartpay window. You'll log in with your unique login ID. You see the application process stays the same. So none of this will change in Elevate Web. The only thing that looks a little different is when we go to checkout, you will actually have to enter the Smartpay application ID in the notes field, and then you'll check out as normal. And that is what I have to share with everyone concerning Smartpay. Any questions, concerns, or comments?
Can we have that PowerPoint so we can go over the steps with our own team? Like, can we have that individually?
Of course, Renata.
Thank you. I love this.
Awesome.
You're presenting so well.
Thank you, Renata. And your doors do a really, really good job with pitching Smartpay. So I know this will definitely be helpful with the Elevate Web process. But I don't know if you have some success stories you want to share about Smartpay, Renata, since I got you on here. I didn't see your name on there.
That's okay. I came in a little bit late. Honestly, my team are doing it a lot better than me. I don't know what their secret is. Maybe, like you said, they're pitching right in the front and they're offering it ahead of time. It's better to do a leasing period on an expensive phone. Remember the difference between a contract and prepaid. Contracted phones, you pay something up front and then your bill gets kind of more expensive. That's kind of like what Smartpay's intention is, but it keeps their customers and it makes them happy that they're able to pay something with increments of an amount and then to pay it off. So they're reassuring the customers the service that Smartpay has, the 1-800 number, how to pay off early, how to come into stores. Our employees, they knew very, very well for a very long time how to pitch it. And I'm very impressed by that. That's thanks to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, she hops on these calls every week. I've never got those kind of compliments, but awesome stuff.
I know
Awesome.
everyone is saying how amazing. I'm only this great because of you guys. I can't do it alone. You guys brought in all the education in.
We try. We do our best. But
You
no,
guys
I mean,
are
you're right.
amazing.
This is such great stuff. And what you said, I want to hammer that point home too. You talked about postpaid. Think about where Boost is going, right? Where second MR is important. No, even like looking from month 3 to month 4 is important. Boost is going to more long-term customer base. They're going to more of a postpaid world. I mean, this is the right on the wall I kind of see, right? So Smartpay is perfect to get in line with that, and it gets cheaper out the door price for your customers. So, I mean, it sounds like your team's got it. I got other dealers that are crushing this, and it's just that light bulb moment. So if you're on this call and you're not pushing Smartpay, you're not doing it. Hopefully this was that light bulb moment for you. If not, we can have a one-on-one training with you as well, because man, this is going to be great, and more exciting stuff to come. As you heard, kind of Monet hint at integration coming. So we're probably going to be back on the Smartpay call in the next month or two once everything gets finalized, because man, they have some just great stuff out there. I mean, Monet, thanks so much for hopping on. And then for you guys, I got just a couple other slides. Let me share my screen, just kind of state of the market stuff, which I think is very important. All right, let me share my screen here with you guys. Let me know if you can see it. Can't see it yet, guys? Good?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so I just want to go over a couple things. One, guided sales flow. GSF, which used to be called DOP, Digital Operating Platform, used to be called Elevate Web. Your black and white SIM cards, essentially, unless you're in a market that has rainbow SIM cards. But your black and white SIM cards are all in the guided sales flow, which is what the new terminology is. A lot of resources still have it on DOP. DCI doors, we are not hitting our mark. So all of us combined, so I'm not talking to anyone specific on this call, but we're not hitting the mark of where we need to be. We need to get to 85% activation rate. And the whys behind that, your sales portal, as you know today, the old portal where you can find the buzz, you can find all that, that's going away at the end of April. The end of April is going to be here before you know it. We don't want to play catch up and be stuck and like, oh, now I have to learn a whole new thing. We want everyone to be experts and be using this for every customer they can. So if you're not using guided sales flows for 100% of the activations, make today your call to action for your stores. Unless it's a ACP, which still has to be on the orange SIM cards, and even that's changing soon, right? Because it's at April 20th, the old platform's gone. Or add-ons to existing family plan. There are those rare scenarios. One of the things that I've heard that I liked a lot as a manager said, I'm going to do, Adam, I'm just going to lock the orange SIM cards in the back. When a rep wants to do one, they have to talk to me. And then I have to say, yes, you can use it based on the scenario. So if guided sales flow is working, and you can activate in black and white SIM cards, my ask to you is make sure you're doing this with every customer possible. We want you guys to get to 85%. This factors in, and when I say 85%, ACP doesn't even go to that number. And every store is looked at, and we can give you your number for your exact store so you can see where you're at. But ACP aren't factored in. If a customer's not eligible, that doesn't even come into your mix. So for every customer that's eligible, want to make sure you're putting them on that black and white SIM cards on that guided sales flow network. Huge call to action. I'll probably have this as a talking point for every slide for the next 2 months until that network shut down, because we're low. We're averaging in the 60s. We need to get to 85. So asking you guys for a big focus on that. Again, I just mentioned that platform is shutting down. It's going to be migrated. These customers are all switching over to DOP. So very important we get everyone, whether you're an AR door, a BR door, a PBR door, Platinum Partners, everybody needs to be hammering this guided sales flow network as TSA fades away. Lastly, quick reminder on the Xfinity incentives. We just had a door actually in my home territory. The first winner week 1 won a 65-inch TV. 2 awesome things that you guys have available. One, if you guys do more sales in February than you did in January, for every 2 kits extra, you guys will get a free Xfinity prepaid kit. All right. So if you're in a market that has Xfinity, I know it's not everybody, but the majority of people on this call, I believe, do have Xfinity. If you're on there, whatever you're hitting January, every 2 activations above that January quota, you will get a free Xfinity kit for your store. On top of that, for frontline reps, every 2 kits you sell, there's a weekly drawing, as I just mentioned. One of my dealers is actually Premier Sound and Design in Champaign. Won a 65-inch TV because they're entering their Xfinity kits in the prize portal. There's an email sent out from DCI. I have the link on here again as well. So I'll give it a second. If you guys are looking at this, take a screenshot or write it down. Or if you're, it's https://igniteprize.com/TV incentive/ That's the website. And if you didn't catch it, reach out to your DCI account manager. We'll forward it right over to you. We can text it to you, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So want to make sure you guys are getting in this contest. What we saw is only about 25% of sales being made are being entered, because we see those numbers. We see these stores sold this many kits. Here's so many entries they submitted into this contest. It's about 1 in 4. So in other words, Xfinity right now is giving you more advantages than you've ever had. You have chances to win TVs. You have free kits for every 2 that you sold over your January numbers. It's tax season, so this is a great extra incentive for you guys. And if only 25% of people are entering, what a great chance to win. And like I said, the first week winner was actually from our territory here in Champaign, Illinois. So awesome deal for you guys, just to get amazing prizes for what you're already doing every day, with a simple extra step for as far as registering your sales. All right, guys, I won't get back into Smile and Dial because we are at 12:31. But remember to make your Smile and Dial calls. It's important to drive those customers back into your store, especially at tax season. Remember, you could pitch Xfinity. Remember, you can pitch Smartpay bundles. You can pitch ACP. You can pitch add-a-lines. So don't slack on your Smile and Dial as well. 10 calls per day minimum. I would recommend 20. Make sure you guys are hammering this. And the goal here is just to make you guys as successful as possible. So if you kind of follow these steps, these are the secret sauce you guys need to succeed. Thank you so much for joining these calls. We do them every single Monday, 12 to 12:30 Central Time. And that's all I got. I will ask if there are any questions at this time.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, happy Valentine's Day. Thank you. Yes, Valentine's Day is coming on. Don't forget to get your cards for your loved ones. Happy Valentine's Day. You guys have a great week. We'll talk to you next Monday. Thank you so much.